right. Hey, everybody. What's up? My name is Andrew. I'm your co-teacher with CoGrader. It's real good to see you. Just real quick, as we start, I have a question for the chat because it's a thing I'm curious about. Um, so one of the things perfect. Thank you. One of the things that I'm curious is like, what would you want a TA to do for you? Because one of the things I used to love having TAs do when I had like really good ones in the high school level is I had them like grade stuff. So just take a moment while we're waiting for like let's take like 2 minutes. Sorry, I just got done teaching 15 minutes ago, so I'm still used to like giving timers and putting them on the board. Just what's something you'd like a TA to do for you that would be helpful? So mine would be putting stuff in alphabetical order. I hate that. Uh, Also, like taking stuff from oh gosh, we did like because we're in the U.S. and standardized testing. We did a lot of like SAT prep stuff with when I was teaching 11th grade last year, and we would move stuff to Google Forms. So just like write in the chat, like what's something you'd like a TA to do for you? Um, good. So 2 years ago, I had a TA, and I asked her to find a teacher who like is so comically unfindable because I bought 100 grand bars for everybody to celebrate a bargaining win, and I hadn't seen him in weeks, and yet he was at work every day. And the only stipulation was she wasn't allowed to ask any of the assistant principals um, at all. So she's not allowed to watch to find like our boss and ask him. That way we wouldn't get the guy in trouble. But it took her 3 weeks to find this dude. Um, 3 weeks to find this teacher, and that student after she did when she's going to college, she got a letter of recommendation that I promise I did not have AI write. Not that time. Um, for me, it's like also grading. I really bugs me like when people or when I don't know, I have a hard time like I miss things. I hate Scantron machines. Grading by hand is not something I was ever very good at. Um, what's up, Mike? Microbiologist, welcome back. Um, Jen, thanks for coming back as well. And dude, I would have them do paperwork too. Organizing digital files and grading. Yeah, I made them a teacher in my well well played co-grader. Um, I made I made I made them find like oh shoot, what was it? Oh, I yeah, end of year inventory is great. Um, high school English, we have a lot of books that like, and then there was a lot of turnover, so nobody really knew what we had. So having a TA go through that was great. That was really awesome. Um, all right, let's get started. So what we're going to focus on today is how to use generative AI to help with grading and planning. And like we touched on planning a little bit yesterday, but I am going to focus on some tools that also help with grading. I'm also going to write some stuff live to give people an idea. But this is me. This is who I am. I think that, and I'm here, and I think you guys are here too because teaching needs to be sustainable if people who are good at it are going to do it. Um, that's a systemic problem, but until those systemic solutions are like happen, a lot of these AI tools are things that can give us control over our own lives and over our own like ability to have this be sustainable. Um, so I'm really grateful to come back with day two. And again, like I'm here because my 10th grade English teacher, whether or not she knows it, kept me alive. Um, like I was not thinking of being here, and because of Dr. Snyder in at Goshen Central School District in New York, like love her, shout out to her. She was great. Um, she uh, she showed me through like my 10th grade English class that life was worth sticking around for, and that was something that I'd never seen. And I want to be that teacher for other people, but I also like want to be a husband. I know I'm not alone in like working to the point where I have giant piles of laundry at home. CoGrader and other AI tools are things that have really like helped me, and I want to share them with people. I want other people to find that same like I want other people to be able to be teachers, but also be like fulfill all the other roles in their lives. Um, so just some stuff we're going to go over, and we're going to go like into it right after this. I'm going to show you something for a student from 15 minutes ago, but I will take requests later. Like, what do you guys need? Questions, answers, such. But I want us to understand AI's role in planning and assessment, not just what we can do, but what shouldn't we do? Because I strongly believe in ethics and using AI for assessment and especially grading and feedback. Like, there are some questions we need to answer, and if we do that, then we can make teaching sustainable. So I just wanted to start with like a real quick GPT prompt that I wrote like 15 minutes ago. And this is one way I use AI for planning. So I teach 10th grade English. Um, right now we're in a debate unit. We have a bunch of like policy resolutions and we're connecting them to different values. And I have a student with Down syndrome in my class who's really struggling, and rightfully so, with some of the abstract stuff. Like, they're having a hard time seeing how, like, social media is connected to privacy, for example. So what I asked was I asked ChatGPT, I'll give you debate resolutions. For each resolution, write a differentiated version for a 15-year-old student with Down syndrome. That way, it wouldn't be like too infantile. I think a lot of like leveled materials end up just being materials for much younger students. And I love this student, and she does get self-conscious. So if it gave me a bunch of examples I could model off of. So it gave me school curriculum should include financial literacy, and it just rewrote it as a more concrete resolution. Uh, Same thing, social media platforms, and then social media should be safer for everyone, especially young people. I would probably take out how can we make it better and replace it with a more concrete direction of like why or why not, or agree or disagree, just to help her out. But like that's one way. I'm not going to go like that's one way that GPT helps me with differentiation. So just a couple things. When we say AI, like what do we mean? Um, and I need to be clear about this because sometimes like the interactivity and the talking with it can get weird. It is not a friend of Sarah Connor, but it is like a million monkeys typing on a million typewriters with who make good guesses. It's AI has no self-awareness. It's not talking to a person, but it does, like trained monkeys, try to give us exactly what it's trained to do. And if it misunderstands, it's going to do the thing that it thinks we want. Um, so, like with that idea, that means we have to be real specific with it, and that means that we have to like have we have to kind of know how to talk to it. So in a minute, I'm going to give you a couple suggestions for how to do that. But CoGrader is my favorite AI tool, and it's actually like ChatGPT was like kind of the gateway drug, but CoGrader is that next level. Maybe that's a bad example, but CoGrader, and share in the chat if you've used CoGrader and if it's helped you at all. But I'm just going to talk briefly through like how I use CoGrader to plan leveled groups, stations, and whole group lessons. So what I do is I grade with CoGrader. At the end, it gives me this insights report, and this I love. This is the thing that that sold me on it really, because my school uses a PLC model. So what I do is like this is for an argument essay on the Crucible. So I graded the essays, CoGrader analyzed the feedback, and it told me exactly who I needed to reteach theses to so that I didn't do a whole class thing where most of the students were bored. And then it did tell me what I needed to do for the whole class. And if you want more information on this, like there's more information in a longer webinar I did on exactly this subject. But CoGrader is great for PLC discussions. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Okay. I got ahead of myself. This is for planning. So another way to use it is to like use it to make anchor charts. And when you do that, you tell it like create a 3-step anchor chart. And then like if I, and this is, anchor charts are a lot more common in younger grades than in some high schools. They should be more common in high schools, but I'm really bad at making them. And when I do, they're too wordy. So I have used ChatGPT to help me like pare it down and narrow it down. I've also used it to make bookmarks for students. Um, I love this use of it. Like social emotional learning is not an extra class. It is a thing to embed in other ways of doing things. It's a way of, for me, conversing with the students in my last class who really struggle on a block day on a Wednesday at the end of the day to like stay on task. So I've written myself a script for like how to uh how to have the restorative conversations with the 4 restorative questions I was trained with. I've written myself a cheat sheet with that I have on my desk over there. And like I've also written, I had a student damage the disc golf course I helped install outside at our school. And I had ChatGPT write a menu of options of like, hey, what should I actually do? Here's another one. Another reason I like it uh, for planning is it's really good to have examples for students, and this works at every grade level. So this is one that I used recently. This is the prompt. You're a 10th grade teacher in Colorado. Write an example paragraph using language complexity and sentence structure the students can analyze. Then you have to get real specific about this, or else it'll write a super long thing at a college level. And when you do that, like it tends to get it right. Uh, so if you're going to use it for mentor text, like absolutely make sure that you tell it what grade level you're writing for. What I like with this is I then plug this into Actively Learn, and eventually like that grading software learns and starts recommending grades and comments based on the example answer. Here's some other ideas from my friend Ashley. These will be available later if you come back tomorrow. We're going to send out a toolkit with all sorts of good stuff in it. Fun story about it. She uses this for planning. I really like the oral reading fluency Dibble score because like I wasn't trained in as much like data analysis, but if I tell it to look at map data, like ChatGPT can. I've also used Google Bard that's good for data analysis. Like all of these chatbots can help us do this kind of qualitative and quantitative data analysis. So if you're looking to impress admin with like assessment stuff, go for it. And I've used it for chunking assignments. I used it today to rewrite debate resolutions, like I showed you. I've used it for. I had my students using it. More on that later tomorrow. But like this kind of AI can really help kickstart not just our planning, but because we spend less time planning or making materials, we can spend more time like anticipating student misconceptions and trying to address them. In the chat, just like show of hands if you love it, great. But just say something about Curipod if you've used it, because like this software is phenomenal. I would recommend this 100%. I used it today. It drafts interactive lessons for you, and this is here, there we go. This is an example. I sped the video up just a little bit, but basically within a minute, I had created a 5th grade math lesson on changing things for common denominators, and it generated an interactive series of 14 slides that I then could use right with my students. So this would be phenomenal for whole class lessons. Like you look, you see most of your students need this thing. Just you can't find or need materials for it. And yeah, I had to clip this a little. It made a really solid lesson. Like they've really upped their game at that at Curipod. But then it generates 14 slides, and bam, I have a lesson that now I don't have to build. I can proofread, and it's already got interactive activities built in. And I'm a big fan of that. Uh, so like here's some other ideas for stuff that you might use. Um, I've used ChatGPT for almost all of these. Actually, yeah, all of these. Um, I've used it to draft rubrics. Alice Keeler is a really good blog post on that. That that informed kind of what I did, what I do with CoGrader. You can create drafts of schedules. So I'm terrible at making calendars. So I have it like I'll have a unit plan, and then I'll have it take it and put it into a table calendar so I can share it with students, and they kind of know the pacing. Um, I've used it for differentiated resources. I've used it for coaching and teaching ideas. So all of these things are like things that ChatGPT is really good at. Magic School is also good at most of these as well. But like all of these, where it would take me a long time to write it, we could just have GPT make it. Or take something we've already made and have it revise it and change the reading level. So for example, I want to show you another tool. This one's called Brisk AI. If you again, if you've never used this, it's great. Write a narrative about, let's say, about goblins with a conflict in fourth grade that is that meets expectations. So I really like Brisk because what you can do with it is you click a few things, but then it just starts running this, and it just does exactly what you're looking for. You can like go back and look at it, but this writes a fourth grade exemplar. Oh no, I want if only this was written. Oh shoot, I meant to click third grade. Oh, I can click on it and change the reading level. It makes a new document. Um, oh, you guys can't see that one. My bad. Sorry, I'm on my school account. But if you haven't checked it out, like check out Brisk AI. I'm gonna come back to it. Used it once. Oh, that's awesome. Sweet, excellent, Diane. Thank you. Yeah, so Brisk is another tool I use. I like it because it works right in Google Docs. Um, Brisk AI is good. Brisk Teaching, rather. They do a lot of good stuff. The free version is really what I use because I don't actually need I don't need a lot of stuff. But Brisk also can draft feedback on student writing. And for this one, like I really need to make a note of ethical caution. So I'm going to talk about using AI to grade student writing and to leave written feedback on student writing. And this works in any content area. It works for any grade level. However, it is not a substitute for reading our students' writing and giving them and the feedback we give them. Like these tools help me make feedback faster, but they can't replace me giving feedback. Again, it's like having a junior writer take a first pass at something or a teaching assistant who's ridiculously good to draft comments and then like I revise and approve them before students get it. I also go through and look at all the grades. So like the thing that CoGrader and CoGrader is my favorite one. That's one of the reasons I'm here. Um, but the reason I love CoGrader is because it lets me do this quickly. And here's what it looks. At the end, students get feedback that looks exactly like this. This is a real student's feedback from a paper I used. Yeah, this was an analysis of John Proctor's moral struggles. And I revised this within CoGrader, but then it puts this straight on the students' Google Docs. So I've gotten grading 90 essays to between 1 and 2 hours, depending on how long they are. And to write that much feedback would take me easily 5 times as long without counting my procrastination. It takes me about 30 seconds of paper to like read, approve, and make revisions once I get the rubric right. So I wrote all of this in about 30 seconds. And this is an example of the glows, grows, and action items feedback. It was solid. It was good. It says nice things, gives clear examples, but I like the improvement parts where to improve, you must do X, Y, and Z. I really do like that. I think it's a good one. Oops. Sorry, guys. I'm only on one screen. This is tough. Okay, there we go. And this one I really liked is it directed students to other materials specifically that I had given them. And CoGrader helps me be so fast that like student drafts of anything, lab reports, stories, essays, arguments. I've even used CoGrader to grade Flipgrid videos. And I can tell you how to do that at the end if somebody asks. But they can be formative assessments instead of just summative assessments. And I get to have a life outside of work. Here's roughly how you use CoGrader. It's ridiculously easy. Just today, and it's the last day of January, over lunch, I helped a teacher grade 30 essays so that they'd have them for their PLC tomorrow. First, you make an account, you import from Google Classroom, or you import your classes and other LMS integrations like Schoology and Canvas are on their way. You import your class and assignments from here. In the meantime, you can just make a spreadsheet with the students like first name, last initial, and their writing, and you can bulk upload them there. Then you get a screen where you tell CoGrader how to grade, and you can add your own rubric or select one of our rubric templates, or you can select a rubric you've already used from the rubric library. So you only have to make it once, and I love that. Um, the name of the grading criteria goes there. You tell CoGrader what proficient looks like under that. Then below, there's different levels of proficiency. At the end, you get a screen like this with extra instructions. And this is what makes CoGrader truly special, because I haven't seen this anywhere else. I use CoGrader for formative drafts all the time. So you can tell it the purpose of this is for students to solidify their understanding. Only provide glows, do not provide any feedback to improve. I was just looking for them to get compliments. And phrase your feedback as questions. And when I did that, I hit go. I got to a screen like this. And then you just click the blue button to start grading. After you grade and adjust the feedback, you run an insight report and you get this. And I end up bringing this to my PLC almost every time. And to send the feedback to students, you click that button. Import from CSV is powerful because any form, anything you put in a Google form or anything that's in a spreadsheet, if it's text, you can grade with CoGrader. And when you have students record videos on like Flipgrid or Flip now, actually, it was Flipgrid during deep COVID though. On Flip, the video, if you set it up right, will automatically generate a closed caption that automatically goes to a spreadsheet that you could download. So I took 11th grade like public narratives, downloaded them from Flipgrid to a spreadsheet, uploaded the closed captions straight from Flipgrid, and I got to give them instant feedback on their videos that I had drafted, and it was good. That said, every single software, including ChatGPT, including some of these other ones here, I like using Brisk works straight in Google Docs. It'll add it as comments in the paid version, but it gives like some really solid feedback and you can add a rubric. Magic School, if you've never done this before, it's also great for this. There's a feedback suggestion tool. You can just use straight ChatGPT, or you can use my free access to the pro version of GPT. And I like that because it's easy to go back and forth and revise the feedback. And Copilot gives you, like I said, free GPT-4 with a Microsoft account. Another one, Curipod, one of their like slide options is personalized AI feedback, and it's amazing. I did it today for my juniors they're drafting a paper. So they took poems, like use them to write an analysis that's attached to something else we did. And then Curipod gave instant feedback and gave them suggestions for how they could improve. Took 15 minutes at the beginning of class. Every student got personal feedback. And then they used that feedback combined with feedback from CoGrader and a mini lesson I did. And now they're well on their way to drafting a final version of that essay. And it only took one day instead of a week for me to give them feedback or to organize them to giving each other feedback. However, all of these resources, all of these sites, they are only as good as the instructions you write. And it's just like here, where I told it, I will give you a debate resolution. For each resolution, write a differentiated version. And ChatGPT just did it. Sometimes, like, it doesn't do what we want. And we got to be okay with that. But I've come up with a few examples or a few kind of general rules that help. So first, grading checklists. ChatGPT or AI, excuse me, large language models are really good with checklists. They're really bad with score this on a number scale. So I combine these two things, and the checklist might look like this. A proficient lab report will identify the research question, a hypothesis, and the relationship between X and Y, or the independent and dependent variables. If they're writing about social studies, an introduction should include X, Y, Z. If they're writing a narrative, you can describe like the conflict should include, the story should include a person versus other conflict. If you're writing something in like an engineering class, you can make a checklist for what it should include. So this works anywhere where students write. Grading checklists are great. And they help me also know what I'm trying to illustrate. The next option, it's kind of a technical term, but a few shot example. You can provide examples that illustrate like what a good response looks like and a poor response, and then describe the strengths and weaknesses of those examples to the AI. And that models good feedback for it but it also gives it more like data to draw from in making a determination of what quality looks like and what less quality looks like. So these are also good, and you can include those in CoGrader um, in the criterion where you tell it what proficient looks like. Then, and this is it sounds silly, and anybody who does some computer science or like teaches geometry or knows a little like super basic logic will be familiar with this one. But they're called conditional statements, but it's just an if then and unless or and or statements. So if you say like if the student has a thesis with these things, then they are proficient. Um, GPT does really well with those kinds of if then statements. So if the introduction or if the whatever contains these things, then mark it proficient unless it fails to include a thesis. So like these kinds of structures have helped me make CoGrader more accurate on the rubrics I write. And I've also like I've written rubrics for to test some really complicated things to grade, like the Ed TPA, just to see if I could do it. And CoGrader gets it right. I've tried it with AP tests. CoGrader gets it right, especially when you do these kinds of things. Um, Also, tips for good AI feedback. You can tell it to justify your response with excerpts from the essay, but I believe like that might get easier to do in the near future. Keep coming back. Focus your feedback on X and then tell it so students can apply it to their next draft. If you do that, it ends up giving more like suggestions without giving them the answer. Tell it what audience to write the feedback for. So the feedback isn't written at a college level for fourth grade students. And you can give it some context. Like this is the student's first draft and tell it to prioritize the feedback on certain parts. So like we just went through a lot of information in a short amount of time. But what I'd like is in the chat, like tell me something I can help you with. Uh, um, oh, you can print the feedback. I didn't realize that. That's sick. Awesome. Um, so like take a second, but give me something like that I can help AI create or differentiate for you. So like if you tell me a little bit of information in the chat, like give me a grade level, a subject. Um, oh, we can take okay. Yeah, we can do that. So yes, can you use it as an AP teacher? 100%. I'm hoping to be able to teach AP seminar next year, and I'm going to use it for like much more informal writing, reflective kind of stuff that builds to the other goals. So like let's take a look here. Okay. Um, yeah, just take a second, like give me an idea of something that might be helpful in the chat. Uh, or something that you'd like to see. Fifth grade math, add fractions with unlike denominators. Okay. For that one, I would definitely use Curipod. So I am a teacher who needs a sub lesson. I'm going to Curipod. I'm teaching fifth grade math. Let's see what we got here. I would like a full lesson. Perfect. I want it to be about fifth grade math, adding fractions with unlike denominators. Um, let's see what it does. I've never actually tried this part, but you can put up to 6,000 characters for a learning standard or topic. Use, what do fifth graders like? Use, I almost said Fortnite, use Minecraft in the examples. Let's see what it does. I'm assuming fifth graders still like Minecraft. I don't actually know. Um, while we're waiting for that, robotics interactive activity with a microbit to code for variables. No idea what that is. But while we're waiting for Curipod, I'm going to just paste that into ChatGPT so it writes an explanation and I can come back to it. I do like that Curipod gives me like some examples or some nice quotes while I'm waiting for it to like come to fruition. Oh, they do. Thank you, Wanda. Excellent. Wonderful. We're in the Minecraft generation, or my students who are in 10th and 11th grade are still playing Minecraft. They dig it. Okay, so here's what we got. We got fraction adventures in Minecraft, mastering unlike denominators with blocks. Oh wow. Wow, they've made okay, I didn't know it would do that. Made the illustration with AI? They got the numbers right? Okay. CurePod is really up their game. So here, I this is also new, but they're telling you like, please check it and remember to delete this slide. Excellent. It's got the standards that are covered, but it here grab Texas uses Minecraft examples. So this is like if you this is I got observed today. This is the kind of thing I would send a screenshot of to my admin after the lesson, so she would understand because not all admin can do math. Not all I don't know. Understanding fractions in Minecraft, imagine pieces of a Minecraft cake, why they matter. Okay, I would probably shorten these up, but now we can take a poll. You want to add? I have no idea what this is. Um, it looks like that is trying. Okay, so you want to add half of a Minecraft cake to 1/3, and you would go through and like revise the lesson. Not terrible, but like you would need to revise this, but this is not a bad starting point, particularly if I'm a brand new teacher or I just got thrown into teaching 5th grade. That's not bad. All right, right on. Okay. So Wanda, I hope that helps. Here, let me do a thing. If you want, I can share. If you'd like, you can take a look here. There you go, Wanda. Oh, here, I will let me make a note to share that lesson later in the CoGrader Facebook group. What else do we got? Okay, let's see if it. I'm sorry, Frank. I don't entirely know what it is. Oh, hey, what do we got? Creating a robotics interactive activity using microbit involves coding and make code. Let's create a simple project where the microbit controls the movement of a virtual robot displayed on a screen. Use variables. Oh, hey, I wrote a whole lesson plan. Okay. Wait a minute. Did it? Sorry, I've just maybe this is new. I've never seen it do that before. Oh my gosh. Wow. It even gave you okay. It even gave you like a literal website. I don't even pay for the pro version. Huh. Set up. It gives you step by steps. That's really interesting. Um, wow. And it's got example code too. Okay, this is awesome. Um, I really appreciate, huh. I can't tell you if this code works because that is not my jam. But let's see. I can also stick this in into the CoGrader Facebook group. Oops. So let me post. It doesn't quite let me post links back. Um, okay. So I'm going to take like two more examples, and then Henry, I will absolutely get to your question. Uh, Sweet. Thank you, CoGrader. Yeah, I will share. I will share that stuff where I can. Um, SRA writing kit. I'm not sure what the SRA writing kit is. Um, here's what I do to. Uh, you can create questions from short videos. Let me double check. I think Magic School has that tool. By the way, if you've never used Magic School, it's a really great starting point. It really is. These are some of the ones I really like. The rubric generator is fine. I don't usually wait. What custom chatbots new? That's sick though. Here, YouTube video questions. So let's take 2nd grade multiple choice questions. Let's do. Uh, 18 minutes is way too long. Here we go. Subtraction with regrouping. Let's stick that there. Let's have it make multiple choice questions. It's uploading. So you need to know this one. It grabs the transcript from the video. So here, what it did here is it has, which I would probably delete that one. That looks like an ad. But How many students were left on the bus when it got off? Oh, and it has an answer key too. So it put in 3 multiple choice questions. Um, here, let's just add. Oh man, oh, they started charging. Okay, whatevs. Um, wonder if I can do custom. Their custom prompt. Yeah, edit prompts. Okay. Oh, number of questions 3. I'm gonna up it to 7. I want a few more to pick from. Um, gotcha. Okay. So, oh, um, so another way to do this, if you didn't want to do that, would be to like stick. Oh, there it is. It's going. Wait, keep. Okay. Sorry, guys. I haven't used this since Magic School started charging. Um, but I can also do another thing I like is common misconception generators. So like, here we go. Uh, whoops. Anyway, I'm starting to go down a rabbit hole, but here, let me just type in second grade math. Because sometimes I forget to think through like what students might make a mistake. I appreciate this. So Magic Tool, like this is what I would need to do if I was like subbing for an elementary school teacher, or if I was doing something like way outside my comfort zone like that. Um, all right, what else? Can you actually identify a clear thesis and evidence? And okay, so this one, gotcha. So this one is a little trickier. Henry's question: can you actually identify a clear thesis, evidence, and sophistication for something like the AP Lang argument essay? So the short answer is yes, because sophistication is harder. It's less good at that, and that's why you need some of those other tips, like the if then unless stuff, like the examples and counterexamples. That works really well for getting it to identify the sophistication point. When I tested CoGrader with that, um, when I tested CoGrader with the AP Lang exemplars and then I put the rubric in and I wanted to see how close it got within half a point to a point of the College Board scorers every single time. I tested it 3 times. I'm not saying it got it all the time. And again, I want to go back to like when we're using AI to leave feedback on student work, we have to read the work, read the question, and we have to and the grade, and we have to adjust the feedback that we give and get. So these are just some other resources at the end of the at the end. We went over this yesterday. It's from Fitzpatrick. It's a role for clear prompt writing. Um, Magic School AI is solid. Kirapod is one of my favorites. Like it saved my butt this today. AI for education is good. And in the slides that'll be available later, there are there's just other links. We'll be posting these throughout AI week and in the near future. So like before we jump to other questions, like really thank you very much. You feel free to follow me on Instagram if you want. I'll be posting CoGrader content. Feel free to email me here. That's agutner@gmail. I'm also Andrew at cograder.com. But like most of the time, my Instagram is teacher content, union bargaining, stuff like that. But I'd love to see you guys. I'd love to have you there. So for now, I'm going to stop the screen. And yeah, it is pretty close. I'm going to stop the screen and take a look at other questions people have. Uh, um, yeah, like ask away. Any other questions you have, anything about CoGrader, anything like something you want to know how to do with AI would be great. Um, just any questions about like experience using, or feel free to share your experiences with using AI as well. Yeah, just today, one of the teachers that in my department, he had to. It was yesterday was nuts. Like there were 2 fights, which at the school I'm at, I know that's not crazy for everybody. It was weird here. So there were 2 fights. One was a bunch of guys in the cafeteria. The other was a couple girls in the English hall. And like my friend during his planning period, he was like trying to grade this common assessment. um, he was trying to grade this common assessment for his team meeting tomorrow so that they could compare data. And he didn't get to because he had to do a ton of paperwork after he broke up this fight. So today during lunch, we went through. I showed him how to use CoGrader, and we went through all of his essays, and he stuck them. He was able to quickly export them into Excel so that like even though he had to spend his planning time, literally like keeping students safe, he was still able to, with CoGrader, get his job done today. And that's a good day. The two students are fine. They're going to be all right. Um, oh, gotcha. So tweaking the feedback on CoGrader. So why you can select a new score but not a new feedback text. So what I usually do is I usually edit the feedback text with there's an edit button. It's the same place where you can edit the score. I know it doesn't automatically write the feedback or automatically rewrite the feedback yet. But one thing I do is if for some reason it's just totally off, like again, the way CoGrader works is it is helping, it's using Chat or GPT in the background. So sometimes GPT does a random thing. Sometimes any AI does a random thing. Uh, list of yeah. Um, huh. I don't know, but that's definitely something I think that's good feedback that people look into. I know that there's going to be something cool coming out sometime in the future, but I don't want to like get ahead of stuff. Um, so, but like keep looking, keep something like that is coming. Just keep coming back. Uh, Co-grader assignments, yeah. They do, yeah. There is a big release coming soon. I'm stoked about it because it's like half a wish. It's like half of my wish list when I first started using it. I'm really excited, um, and I think it's really going to help my students too. Um, excellent. Uh, yeah, I'll. uh, if anybody else has some, gotcha. If anybody else has like other questions, if anybody else has other tools too that they want to recommend, there's going to be some really cool ones tomorrow. Um, our friend Emily from Berkeley, she's going to be showing us some stuff about how to use AI with students, as well as how to navigate the politics of using AI with students, administrative stuff, um, having to do with some of the logistics of using AI with students. But she's also going to showcase some. Actually, when we were going over the webinars, I stole one of her ideas and used it today in class, and my students very quickly were able to like find high level journal articles with like intro level research skills that were exactly what they wanted and needed. So like definitely go back tomorrow if you're interested in using AI with students. It's it's going to be good. I'm excited. Uh, yeah, I am. I do want to say thank you, everybody, because like you being here is being part of like what's filling my bucket as a teacher. Because like Alyssa, um, very levels of uh, whew, there's a lot of conditionals in there. Um, before we move on, Sam's question. I haven't used it in a while, uh, but the copywriting part is difficult. And that is a set of legal and maybe ethical complications that like I haven't like we as a world and I haven't thought about entirely. But um there's a couple that I would use with that. GPT-4. Yeah, I know. It's like so I'm not going to pretend to be able to give you a perfect answer on the fly. I don't know anybody who could. There's like a million considerations in your question. But I'm an English teacher, and it's not that I don't care about copyright. It's that like I do a lot of fair use things. The ethical consideration I would be more worried about is like taking the author's work and feeding it into a model. Um, Again, that's assuming that that didn't happen. If you just needed something to quickly write questions for specific chapters of copyrighted children's books, if you had a PDF of the chapters, you could upload it to uh, ChatGPT or Claude 100K, and or there's another one. I know GPT-4 can read PDFs, but it's a little iffy sometimes. Uh, but that would get you somewhere. What I would do instead is I use Actively Learn, so I would stick it in Actively Learn, and then I would use from Actively Learn. I would grab sections of it and have a chat, a AI chatbot like look at just those snippets. I feel like reducing that would probably be for the best, and it would also give me more control. Um, so right now, yeah, kind of, but I would definitely think more about it before just uploading a whole book there and asking it to read it. But uh, that's a really hard question. Um, Thanks, Sam. I wish we were playing Stump the Me. Uh, okay. So, yeah, I just, once again, thank you all for being here. Thank you for engaging with the chat. I taught in 2020, just like many of you. And I can't tell you how much it means that you engaged in the chat. I'm really excited we're doing this. I'm really grateful that you're here and that I get to be a part of like helping make our lives easier. And I hope that like sometime in the near future, take another look at that CoGrader Facebook group, join it. Um, that's going to be a place where we have a community where we can help each other. Uh, just in general, because teaching is too hard to do alone anymore. And I'm really grateful to have you guys with me. Thank you. Have a phenomenal evening. Enjoy your night, and I hope everything goes well. And I hope you have a phenomenal day. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.